You know, one of my passions throughout my life has always been about healthcare. Um, right now, I'm very fortunate to have someone I can talk to outside of the VA, and not, you know, cost an arm and a leg. Unfortunately, you know, there's this choice card, the VA choice card. Now, this is my personal experience. This happened to me more than once, and so I've made videos about this incident numerous times. But I feel it's worth doing again for those people that didn't get to see it before. This whole choice program thing. So you if you live within 40 miles of a VA hospital, then you don't qualify for the choice program. You don't qualify. Now, the problem is they have clinics like us. We had a clinic over here, a real small one. We just got this big one. But this real tiny one over here for 25 years. And it opened at 7 or 8 in the morning, and then it closed at 5. Now, if it's 5:50 and you're having breathing problems, you're fucked. Because you don't have any recourse but to go to one of these doctors at either Mercy up here or what used to be Reading Medical. So if it happened on a weekend, same situation. Unless you wanted to drive, you know, many hundreds of miles north to a VA hospital, or at least 250 miles down to Mather, okay, before you could be admitted into a VA hospital. So I'm riding my bike, and we're co-riding around a corner, and my fault. My front wheel drifted out and just touched the double yellow line in the middle of the road. We're going around a left-hand turn. Now, I've been around that corner, really, I'm not kidding you, realistically, 2,000 times. Because that was my play, that whole area was my play area, not just on my bikes riding, but it's where our cabins were, and that was the road into town. And I didn't know there was a giant hole there, 20 feet deep, 25 feet deep, filled with rocks and manzanita bushes. So I'm coming around this left-hand corner, and my front wheel just touched the yellow paint, and it was dewy. Saturday morning, very dewy and slicker than shit. And my front wheel started to slide, and my wheel turned, and I instinctively corrected, and of course my bike high centers. That's just, you can't really help it, you know what I mean? Even the best racers in the world, that's how you high center your bike, is, you know, you make that correction, and it's very difficult to do on a two-wheel bike. I've seen it done, it does happen, but it's very difficult, and it just kicked me up. And so in order to keep from crashing, right, and being thrown off the bike, and in the middle of this high center, I straighten the wheel out instead, because I see that I can go across this dirt parking lot, because now I'm leaving a skid mark, because having did that, now I'm trying to get on the brakes as hard as I can. The front wheel is now hitting the gravel, and I had to ease off of that. Then the rear wheel is on the gravel. I had to ease off of that, and I thought, I'm just going to ride it up this hill. It looked like a hill. Now you got to remember, I've been driving on that road since I was 5 years old. Literally. And I didn't know that giant fucking hole was there. Maybe it wasn't in the past. I don't know. But when I saw that there was going to be this giant hole, first, I mean, all these questions went through my mind of, well, how come I didn't see this before, and why didn't I know? And at that point, I knew that I had to lay the bike down. So I lay the bike down. I had just purchased a $1,000 carbon fiber helmet because my neck and my back, my degenerative diseases don't like carrying weight up here. So I had to spend the money because VA's not going to buy me something that's good for my thoracic and my neck area. So this thing was super, super light. I don't know if a poly would have held it. So all I remember is turning the wheel to the lock on the right and laying the bike over and trying to get my left leg out from underneath of the bike. That's all I remember. I kind of remember some dirt action here. And then I woke up. I didn't wake up, but it seemed like just an instant went by. And my bike is sitting straight up and down. Straight up and down, lodged in manzanita bushes and rocks. And I had big tears in my skin, big hunks of meat. And even through my leather jacket on this right arm here, a big hunk of meat just peeled back. And the helmet was crushed in, right here, crushed in. I don't know if a poly helmet would have taken that impact. I really don't. But, so I fractured a rib, this rib here, and then screwed my knee up really bad. And I go up to Mercy and I tell them, look, I'm a veteran, and here's my card. Now, and I told her right then, I said, listen, I've been here before with doctors who didn't file their paperwork correctly and ended up sending me a bill when I wasn't supposed to get one, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm notifying the VA Monday morning at 8 o'clock that I was in your facility because they're closed. That's how it's supposed to work. What do? I get a $30,000 bill from Mercy Medical. So doing everything right. And it was the same thing when my back went out, and that's my disability. I'm basically living on the floor for 90 days. And the fire department finally gets me out of the house into the ambulance, and I go over, and just like Mercy, all they want to do is pump me full of morphine. Well, here's your morphine. You want some morphine? They asked me at Mercy like 8 times if I wanted morphine. That's pretty much all they were interested in doing. And then they didn't find the broken rib. That was found by the VA, okay? And then the severe sprain on my left knee, that they didn't find that. The VA did. Of course, it was purple by then. But they sent me a bill for 30 grand. And so I'm fucking paranoid. And there's many, I imagine in the hundreds of thousands of veterans throughout the United States that aren't within 40 miles of a VA hospital, because you see, they call this clinic a facility. That's how they term it. They term it facility so that they can include these little clinics in with hospitals. Well, they don't have operating rooms, and they can't. If you had a bad lawnmower, they would ship you right to the nearest hospital, either Mercy or Reading. That's what they would do, as long as it happens between 7 a.m. in the morning and 5 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. After that, you're fucked. That is the problem with the choice program, and they can say whatever they want to say, but the fact of the matter is that I always get bills, $22,000 for the one in Walnut Creek, okay, and $30,000 from Mercy. Me following the procedures exactly as I'm supposed to do it, and I'm telling the VA, and I'm telling these guys, look, I tell the VA guy, look, last time this got all fucked up, how can I be assured that this isn't going to happen again, that I'm not going to get a bill? Oh no, well, you've reported it correctly. Yep, $30,000 fucking bill shows up at my house. And now what? Now you're in a legal dispute. Now you have to either have the VA explain it to them or have them explain it to the VA why I got a bill. I handled it much simpler than that. I told them I was going to sue them. And that I had witnesses that were standing there when I told her that last time I did this, shit got screwed up and I got sent a bill. I would like to make sure that you understand that when you take this card and you say, okay, we're going to treat you, that these are the conditions. And they dropped the bill because there was nothing they could do because there was 4 people there with me. Because I didn't trust him. I told him. The VA's never said that I never got an apology or a, this is what you do or we're sorry that happened or whatever happened with that bill. They never asked me, oh, did you have to pay that $30,000 bill? They never fucking asked me. You know, that's the problem. You end up in, you lose faith in the system because they've made so many, in my case, they've made so many mistakes and so many misdiagnoses and so many non-diagnoses. And I have persistent problems that it seems like they don't give a fuck. And I'll tell them over and over, for 4 years, I've been trying to get them to do this leg right. I had one test that was done wrong. They did it up here on my upper groin instead of my leg. And they never, ever went back and corrected that mistake and redid the MRI. So hopefully this is going to get handled with my new doctor. We'll see. No. That choice card, it's bullshit. It doesn't work. If you're within 40 miles, okay, you're within 40 miles. You have a clinic right here. You're screwed. But if you want to go to a hospital, someplace where you need a surgery, that's a 500-mile round trip. If you get cut or something, have an accident, and you need treatment, what? You get in an accident, you have to drive yourself down to Martinez from Reading? Or to McCulloch? Is that what you're telling me? That if I get, if I cut my leg open on Saturday, that I have to wait till Monday when the clinic opens? And then what are you going to do? You're just going to send me to a civilian place anyway. You see, the problem is that there's a disconnect. Every single time with me, and I know that it's happened to other veterans, there's a disconnect in the system. No one gives a shit. The hospital's going to send you a bill anyway just to see if they can get away with it. That's how mercy is. They really pissed me off. And then they missed all the broken shit. They missed everything. They didn't find anything wrong with me. All they want to do is give me morphine. I can imagine what that was going to cost. But one MRI is $30,000 for my visit there. Have a specialist look at me. No, the choice card doesn't work. It doesn't. I suggest that Reading be the home for a VA hospital that has surgical rooms, nurses, hospital beds to be filled, this kind of thing, so that when veterans here have this kind of serious problem, they're not subjected to a system that's broken. And then instead of, now they're screwed up, they're hurt, and here they are tossed into this legal battle between the VA and your local hospital about who's going to pay the bill. And if you don't pay, there goes your credit. I mean, it's a fucked up experience because for some reason the VA never follows up and goes, okay, yeah, well, we took care of it. You never get a notice saying we got your message. You never get a notice saying, okay, you did your contact right. Here, sign this. Nothing. Not one single time has it ever happened. And I'm telling you right now, I doubt if any veteran has ever had that happen, where the VA went and confirmed, yep, you did the right thing, and here's your paperwork, da-da-da-da, you don't have to pay the bill. Not one time ever. So no, the choice program doesn't work.